Welcome back, everybody, to the second game of the quadruple header here at Overwatch Seasons, Season 4. We are in the midst of the third round of the Swiss stage as Frost Nova takes on High Rollers today in our second match. I am back here with Glitch.
Hello, welcome back. You thought we were gone? Guess what? There's 3 more games, so strap in, people. We got the Wasteland High Rollers taking on Frost Nova. Now, High Rollers. Let me talk.
Okay.
I love this team. I love this team. This team plays ball, and I love ball gameplay. I've been a fan of ball since he came out. He's the most silly goddamn hero in the game, and it's incredible. Meanwhile, as far as I'm aware, I mean, in terms of rank, we're looking at, there's quite a disparity here, but alas, as I like to highlight, even though rank is an indicator of mechanical skill, team play is another thing. So we're hoping to see a 3-mapper here today.
Absolutely. I mean, if High Rollers actually come out and hard lock ball, I don't think there's any reason to even have. I know. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to have any more maps. I think we should just cut it right there. But alas, we will be heading into Surabasa, so I can't wait to see. And if they're able to pull it off successfully, I think that would just be very, very impressive.
I do agree. And while the last match that they played on broadcast was fairly one-sided to them in terms of like a ranked disparity thing, because that's how your week 1 Swiss matches always work.
Yep.
I mean, it was some of the most clinical ball play I've seen since 2021 Hunters. Like it was immaculate. So I'm hoping to see the similar thing. Now we saw for a second there in the lovely loading screen hover. We saw the pocket ball get locked here, and Britchie is a very good Sojourn. They like to play the Sojourn with this composition, which I've noticed, so expect those two to be the highlight reels.
Yeah, I mean, if they can come out with those combos, you have a nice slam. If Britchie has the charge, able to get some picks off of that, and then you just go in. And a classic Tracer with this comp as well.
Yeah, and I'm talking about a lot about those 2 players, but don't sleep on this back line either. Expensive. Played a lot of the Iati as whenever she first dropped, and he was looking clean and clinical on that sort of railgun-esque or DMR type shot. But we're about to dive in. The Zarya comp here from Frost Nova is, what I was expecting a lot of teams to be playing here. This Moira Lucio or, Kiriko Lucio, hard aggressive rush with the Zarya, the Genji dive, and the Soldier persistent damage. This is what most people would consider to be stock standard at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen so much of the Moira, but, it definitely fits into the comp's play style, so I'm not surprised to see it.
I mean, I'm not surprised to see it. His pocket just rolls right in. No fear in this town. Expensive getting low, though. He's got to be careful. Pylon gets dropped down, but that will quickly get destroyed by Edge. So the charge is building up for him quite quickly here, but it does degrade quite quickly. Obviously, the bubble charge is going to be a little bit different now, being if you bubble yourself, it's a 10-second cooldown, and your allies, it will be an 8-second cooldown. Pocket getting kind of battered here by the legs here, so he's got to be careful with his HP. He's already very, very weak. And right there, Hatter, nice little double kill there on the Expensive and Britchie. He's going to go ahead and get those dash resets online, which is going to be the main part of his success here as a DPS player on the Genji here, playing against the Tracer, playing against the Sojourn, playing against the ball, and immediately a composition switch here from the side of High Rollers. We're going to see the Torbjorn here, which is very interesting prospect that we're going to see expensive onto the Kiriko. So ball composition still in favor, but now you're looking at almost a more stock standard dive. You're only missing really the Brig Ana overall here, but while that entire fight was going on, the first cap was awarded to the side of Frost Nova, and they were taking percentage for a long time. So they're already 1 fight away from winning this thing. Both bubbles expanding here from Edge, so he has to be careful. No other mitigation tools for this team. The hack is laid down onto Hatter on the initiation, and the minefield gets laid down as well. No more internal pressure from the side of Arson. Edge is going to grab expensive, though, because he remains unchecked. Healing is lowered, and the coalescence comes out here from Mimi, and that's going to be huge. Arson! Nice Helix Rocket double. As I appear to have lost my co-cacher, but don't worry, I'll bring through the hype as best I can for you all. That's a nice, clean-ish fight from the side of Frost Nova, and High Rollers are struggling for edge for the first time, really, in this tournament. As the rotation immediately begins for the Zarya team of Frost Nova, immediately going to go ahead and take that point space. Pocket is there, but it's only him, and the rest of his team is yet to gather up. He's got to wait for Bog to set up a nice little dive for him. decides to go in prematurely. Both bubbles extended here from Edge, so nothing available. Hack gets laid down. Bridgie very, very weak, and he has to get out, but he cannot. Hatter's going to go ahead and finish him off there. The dash reset is going to be nice and clean there. Backline is weak. Not as many mitigation tools here with Bridgie not being available in the fight. First point lock goes over to the side of Frost Nova. As the retreat here from High Rollers is nice. Ball looking for a hack, and he will get it. Paka is well available on Arson. The healing station is going to go ahead and keep him up for a little bit longer. Paka's melee, additional damage is too strong. Pile drive gets laid down. Dash expected to go ahead and get out and avoid that 50 damage penalty. The grab gets laid down here. Nice little minefield to counter it, as well as the barrier. A lot invested into that. Nice little PD on top of it as well, but the point still is going to be flipped over. Mimi is struggling to find purchase, but holds on just long enough to get up to 47%. Defensive will take him out, though, with the Kiriko headshot.
Just in case.
And right now, it's a neutral game posture. EMP and Rush available, as well as Pulse Bomb for the side of High Rollers. Meanwhile, Beats, Cole, Visor, which is no longer available, expensive with a nice clean rail, and the EMP is quick and fast. And they're able to capitalize. Bridgie grabs Momo, Bridgie grabs Mimi, and Wild Wolf as well, with a kill of his own. Bridgie with 3 there onto the Tracer. Bog off the Tracer for the first time that I've seen, at least, and it seems to be, doesn't seem to matter who's playing Tracer for this team. They're both cracked. Just a single ultimate expended there from the side of High Rollers, which is very, very key and critical. So they still will have this Pulse Bomb. They still will have the Rush to counter, but they go ahead and use the Rush early before they even get there. It's dangerous. Pulse gets laid down by Bridge. He doesn't manage to find anything but Bogwandi's melee will. Arshan's going to go ahead and follow the barrier laid down here, but that is while Mimi falls. There's Omi and Lucio available. Blaze is going to get a pull from the side of Hatter. He's slashing, he's slicing, he's dicing. He's going to try and find one. Mine's gonna lay down to counter, but Momo is trying to ride the walls to escape the damage. But she's gonna go ahead and find an edge, and there's gonna be no more mitigation tools on the side of Frost Nova. And that is going to be a clean ultimate wipe there from the side of High Rollers, really getting their crap together as they manage to extend this to at least 4 points as we move across the map to the next side and the next point.
Good to see you.
Positional game right now here from both teams, really trying to just engage where they can. Arson, Helix, very well done. Expensive Falls has a big amount of healing loss, and they're probably not even going to bother engaging on that anymore, but actually they do push the issue a little bit, but without any flex support, it's going to be hard to really do much of anything, as they just have to wait for Expensive's spawn to return, and they are going to actually taxi him a little bit. The Reaper here for Hatter off the Genji, which is something I forgot to notate, is a very interesting change here. I wonder if that's just a counter the ball to just pour in more shots, and no! Waiting for the race to end, and Bridgie gets the stick on a Hatter. Luckily, no one else managed to befall him. Almost got Mimi, who is hacked right now, has to be careful, is exposed to extra damage, but Bog has to get out. Being low HP, the point flip does come over for the side of Higher Rollers, and Arson is alone on the point right now, getting pressure from multiple different sides, and lovely little engage there off of Bridgie's Pulse Bomb, and he's already up more than halfway to another one. I wonder if any other compositional changes are evaluated, and it looks like they are not. Frost Nova going to stick with this composition, the Zarya Rush Brawl style. They're playing a little bit slow for my liking for something like this, with the Reaper with the legs, with the Zarya, with the Lucio. Not as much engaged as I was hoping for. But the problem with Balls is he's very hard to play into against this comp. You have no tools to stop him from doing what he wants to do. And you see him right there. A messed up rollout there. Barrier gets laid down to counter out. The Visor. Bog is so weak when the minefield gets laid down. They have to be careful. The point is completely locked off from the side of Frost Nova. 90% and ticking up. Frost Nova have to find the pressure onto this point, but without edge available, it's going to be rough. Cole as comes out from Mimi as a desperation champ to try and find some damage, and Wildwood's going to end up falling. EMP's going to get pulled out instead alongside the Rush. There's so much damage. There's so much of everything is everywhere all at once, and that is a team wipe. Extended it may be, as High Rollers will finally work their way into a second map point, and they only have one more area to lock down before It's done and dusted, and they will claim map 1. And it is a switch here for Arson. He's going to go ahead and hop over to the legs. Or, I'm sorry, off the legs and onto the Sombra here. It is very different style, and I wonder they're finally tired of Paka running wild on this ball. The hack is going to go ahead and come through, but Expensive is going to go ahead and find Mimi. They have protocols for this. Suzu gets laid down here from Expensive to make sure they can't do the burst damage. Arson is going to go ahead and grab Wild Wolf, but alas, the Pulse is going to get laid down. Paka rolling through, grabbing 2 frags for his own, and that's going to be point locked down for the side of High Rollers. Lovely little play there.
Well, that sucked.
Yeah, I mean, welcome back.
Yeah, you know, when your computer completely crashes and forces some updates on you, there's not much you can do. But thank you, Glitch, for taking over in my absence. I see I'm coming into a ball composition on map point here as we see the 2-1 as it looks like Nova gonna try and take through this hallway, and Paka just, Bagwandi getting really low.
Oh, and Ars is gonna go ahead and chase him down. Lovely job. Mimi's gonna go ahead and have to fade out of the way of the mines. The Jungle Queen swap here for Edge is warranted, I'd say, at the very, very least. They try and find some more damage in this composition, and that they will. Britchie will fall. Wild Wolf is walking. Wounded Pocket is hacked. The adaptive shields are expended, but nice roll on a Momo gets obliterated by the Wrecking Ball ultimate. And right now it is just a stall game, which is what this composition is great at. Suzu is expended. Hack interrupted.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 99 here on the side of High Rollers.
It definitely will be. Axe gonna go ahead and come down. Nice little hack there onto the Jungle Queen. The EMP extended along with the Coalescence. Frost have to pour everything into this to win it, and they will in the extended team wipe, but they have only a few tools left in the vault to work with.
Yeah, I mean, having to use both of those ultimates just to flip the point after overtime is very, very expensive. And when you have an opposing EMP already loaded up, it's going to be very difficult, especially with the pressure that this ball comp places on teams. It's just going to be very difficult for them to hold this, especially without Coalescence, and all you have is Momo's beat.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I mean, these pulls from Britchie have been wild. I mean, throughout this entire thing, he's gotten a kill every single time. I mean, yeah, true. I mean, that's not even meant to be a subliminal, but oh my god, what an EMP to counter out the Death Blossom. The beat laden response is nice, and Edge is gonna grab Bagwandi, but it is an even trade, but the rush of the beat and counter response layered on top of each other really perfectly. The rush alongside of the beat. It seems to be too much help to Choo Choo right now. It is just Edge living on the edge of his life. The Rampage just go through and grabs 2, but it's all for naught. The point will get flipped over. Mimi is gonna go ahead and fade on the point. No other escape tools. He will get cleaned up here very, very shortly. Sombra will be next up on the list to touch from Arson, and he will grab the touch alongside Hatter. But they don't exactly get a good stagger going here. Momo's gonna go ahead and be in trouble. He can't rotate along the rest of the point with the hack of the minefield getting dropped down. Bridgie's gonna go ahead and grab the frags. This is done and dusted. 3-1, lovely recovery from High Rollers after a disastrous first point.
Yeah, I mean, after that, it kind of just went into a little bit of a snowball. I mean, they were able to flip just for a little bit, but, you know, it's kind of not going to work out when the other team has a plethora of ults to work with. As we see a nice ult here from Bagwandi, but unfortunately, you know, the oh my gosh, Frost Nova was not able to come out on top against that ball comp. Very nice play there from High Rollers.
Definitely. And we are going to go ahead and move into Push being our next game mode. And like I said, Edge wanting to play the Zarya comp. I expect the Esperanza pick again, but you know, there's no way I'm right twice in a row, right?
I mean, maybe not. Maybe. We'll see. If you're right twice in a row, I might as well just leave, you know?
Well, then I mean, I've already got the practices, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're good. You're just good to go, man.
And it does not appear I'm right this time. Coliseo will be the map pick.
Yeah, definitely not surprised by that pick there at all. It's a very common map pick. I really don't think we've seen New Queen Street all too much, if at all, really.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't actually, yeah, that's a fairly good point. Have I seen it? I don't remember. My memory's hazy. But regardless, Coliseo, it's one of those maps that is not exactly I mean, it's not really a fan favorite in terms of, oh, I can't wait to queue this map up until you see this one in rank, you kind of give yourself an eye roll, but it does allow for some it allows for probably the most push and pull style of Overwatch that any of the push maps can offer us.
Yeah, it provides for especially this Zarya comp to really thrive. I personally think. I think that if you're going to play the Zarya comp, that this is the map to do it on. I know that Esperanza can be very good, but I've just been seeing so many teams over and over again dominate with the Zarya on Colosseo, just because it's a lot more closed in than Esperanza. You have a lot more space on Esperanza, so you have these tight hallways and these tight sight lines that really allow Zarya to just get a ton of damage out really quickly and force teams to not really have a lot of space to shoot around her.
That's definitely true, once again, with the Saturn-sized bubbles that she now has acquired.
Yeah, so...
Cheers, devs. But, I mean, another thing is also, I think something that we forget to mention is that, this map's lack of high ground. There's the bridge, and that's, like, it.
Yeah, I mean, you really just have the bridge, and if you're able to get past the bridge, it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, first to get the bridge typically is kind of gonna be like your nail in the coffin, but regardless, I believe we have all parties ready to go.
Yeah, I
we're gonna go ahead and jump in here. Do you expect? I mean, I was about to say, do you expect the Zarya mirror? I don't. I just expect to play ball again.
Yep, I really don't think we should think anything other.
We'll hold the hopes out.
But if we see some interesting things though.
I mean, we do see some Bridge on the Widow now. Bridge didn't get to show much hit scan prowess in that last map, being forced to play the Tracer Sombra. And also, a substitution to note here is that Goopy has subbed in for the side of Bogwandi. So I don't know necessarily what this means, but I guess we're gonna see maybe they want to play double flex, maybe it's maybe they want to lean towards Genji is available, or it could be a number of things that he specializes in.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that you have to think. They did that on purpose. There is we have someone who
we might have to hit
a nice little tactical pause here.
Yeah, as we go ahead and investigate that issue.
And an interesting pick there from Edge onto the monkey, and oh my gosh, we do not have a ball pick on the side of high rollers.
Oh, well, once again, it's spawn, but that might be why Goopy's actually in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would be something if they did that on purpose and it ends up working out. I mean, they know what they're good at. So. Interesting stuff here.
Interesting.
We have some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I wonder if we can go ahead and get him reinitiated back into the lobby. A little bit of an Overwatch 2 custom lobby moment, but
of course. Yeah, I mean, as we have a lot of I'm just as we have a break here.
Really breathing it all in. Really, what's on our screens?
As a break, as I've had some time, look in the Discord for me and look how many matches are happening right now.
That is oh my goodness. For you guys can't see, you guys don't have the context. I'll go ahead and tell you, there's more than 99 people in this server.
Yes, it is absolutely ridiculous, all playing Overwatch at the same time. So you have to think this match was chosen to be casted, but there's a ton more matches happening, and that's why we are having ourselves a quadruple header today, folks.
That's why we're having a true. Maybe it's why we're having. I don't know if everyone's all playing on NA East or necessarily
on NA East. Yeah. Oh, as we are able to get Arsene back in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see. I mean, there's no shot they stick this, right?
I don't know. I mean,
it's like high rollers. Talking about high rollers. I can very much play the monkey here. I can very much see the monkey here. Monkey has been a tried and true tank for years.
I agree, but I don't know. Like you said, Goopy was subbed in for a reason, so maybe that is the reason.
Maybe it's just more like they want to play a slower play style with Goopy. Maybe he's Torb specialist. I don't know. But okay, all right, yeah, there it is. It is.
All right,
there it is.
Yeah, I mean, one could hope. One could certainly hope. But interesting edge over to the right.
I actually really like Rhyme on this map. I think, you know, if you've been studying the London Spitfire VODs this weekend, which you should have done, I mean, you can make it work. It's definitely possible. But, you know, I guess the only compositional change we're seeing is Goopy playing the Torbjorn here. And and then Wild Wolf and Expensive playing the double flex, which is not something we've seen from this backline yet.
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to see how Frost Nova is going to be able to deal with this ball comp now with a little bit of changes on the side of High Rollers. Maybe it'll play into their advantage as they're playing a very hard brawl comp.
I mean, yeah, it's designed to punish Paka. Look at that. That is a devastating first blow, and High Rollers are gonna get the hell out of there.
Yep, they just have to give up that space as they see. And yeah,
there it is.
Forcing the change. Yeah, I mean, you just really can't play the ball into that.
I love forcing ball, but that's like the one composition in Mankind you cannot force it against because you will just get rolled by the Rhine, the Batiste, the May, the Reaper. It's just too much damage.
Absolutely, it's just really cool. Oh my gosh, all of Frost very low.
I mean, what? Oh my God, Puck is pummeling him down. What happened? They made one change and they crumple like dominoes.
Yeah, and no ults needed. I mean, because there's no ults to be had on either side, but just that one change was able to come in huge, but you know, it turns out to, yeah, they recognize when they cannot play the ball, and it turns out they're not a one-trick team.
No, this is not a, they have beat the one-trick allegations. They are so baroque, and they are about to overtake the progress set here by Frost Nova on the side of High Rollers. Edge is going to go ahead and drop high ground. Nice little amplification matrix on the wall to force positioning, but it doesn't manage to catch anybody. Arsene is going to go ahead and grab the summon of the totem, and Hatter will grab Goopy through the silly wall. And right now it is just Wild Wolf stuck in a corridor with a Rhine and a Lucio. That is just not something you want to be dealing with.
Yeah, Edge gonna go in here. I mean, you almost wonder why Edge dropped down if he knew that the bat ball was going to go down. He could have gotten a Fire Strike or two down, but it ended up working out because Hatter was able to take down and get a pick in the end.
Yeah, definitely. You see the Goop get laid down here, as well as the Disruptor shot. And degrade the wall, and there's a Blizzard counteracted by the Annihilation. Pockets are kind of frozen in Narnia, but the lamp is going to get laid down to keep him alive, but it's not enough. The beat laid down at the end from Momo may seem a little excessive, but they have ultimates to play with here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really nice to see when you have the Shatter overclock. Now, I will point out that High Rollers do have both of those support ultimates, and both of those support ultimates are very, very aggressive. You think about the bat wall, placing the pressure onto the Rhine shield into the backline, and Expensive with that Sunshot can be absolutely devastating if played correctly.
I mean, yeah, also, I heard someone on cast recently during Calling All Heroes, I think it was called Sunburn, and I think that's the greatest name ever for it. Sunburn. But regardless, there it is. Oh, I thought that was, I thought that was a shatter onto the Soldier, but it trades back and forth. I mean, no real clear winner here, but yep, Goopy delivering the River Gun into Momo's skull. That's going to spell defeat there in that team fight for Frost Nova, but a promising push, almost getting that first checkpoint.
Absolutely, and I mean, you think you have a good amount of distance here. The point having to be pushed all the way under the bridge, like we said, that bridge being the only high point gives some massive advantage, especially when you're dealing with a hero like the Sojourn or the Baptiste.
Oh, there's a window getting laid down and a counter window to mitigate its effect.
Both I really don't like that placement by Mimi, though, as Hatter will catch Goopy, however.
Oh, Captain Sun gets laid down, but he gets stuck on the tree! Oh no! Trolling begins! Expensive tries to save Paka's life and ends up nearly costing his own, and there he falls! And swings the rocket-powered hammer as Frost Nova accelerates back in control.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from Frost Nova. Despite possibly the misplacement by Mimi on that bat ball, they're able to capitalize, and I mean, they got really lucky there with Expensive missing that Sunshot, just barely hitting that tree, because that could have been really, really massive, and a fight-changing ultimate.
Fight-changing ultimate, but it looks like they're not going to be able to stall. The wall is so big, it's going to force Lucio to overextend here. Wild Wolf doesn't stay alive. Paka with the Ravenous Vortex kills Mimi. That's not something you see every day. It does like 5 damage every 12 million years. And there goes the melees in the fist. Pummeling him, pummeling. Goopy is an animal on the storm. I think he has the most final blows in the entire lobby.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, Goop was placed in for a reason, and he is not afraid to show why. So, really nice stuff. And with the ultimate, the Molten Core online for Goopy, that can be really massive. However, Edge, if Edge is able to catch any combination, really.
Oh, look at this little flank play. This is gigantic. The Kiriko gets laying down, and Mimi manages to fall, but Paka is frozen up. He will lose his life here. It's a nice little flank play, but the downside of losing your tank is you have no mitigation tools for that shatter that's going to get laid down. Expensive gets caught. That's a 4K for Edge.
Yeah, really nice shatter there, and you know that the Torbjorn has the ultimate, so you're able to focus and single him out, kill him, and then go for the rest of the picks, because you know you're not gonna have to worry about the ultimate coming out, so you might as well, especially with their tank being down.
Yeah, I do agree, and we have gone past the halfway mark here for this map. 4 minutes left in the time bank, and we're gonna go back to kind of a posturing stage. That bank is in the favor of high rollers, but with the window getting laid down, it makes it a little hard to kind of pressure out and poke. Especially with the Batiste kind of railing heals through there. The multi-core gets laid down, the pressure gets forced, wall gets dropped down to try and force them back, but it does get dealt with quite quickly due to the hot lava beneath its feet. Bot nearly reset back to neutral here, and the rush laid down on top to try and pressure Edge, and that he will fall over. That was a quick.
Yeah, I mean, the damage output just from that Kitsune rush when you have heroes like the Sojourn are just really, really hard to manage, especially when your tank is down, and especially when you have a tank such as Reinhardt, with that increased shield health and just the overall health and pressure that Reinhardt brings.
Yeah, I mean, you see the overclock pop here to force them back so they can't contest on this high ground. Doesn't manage to find any picks, but the Symmetra here instead going for a little bit of a TP play here. Lovely work, a little bit of London-esque.
Yeah, they're able to get them contest before they lose the lead.
I mean, that is big. I mean, the Symmetra offers so much utility. The Zuzu forced out, they're gonna go in, but the beat is so crucial from Wild Wolf, but Paka's, I mean, his overhealth already deteriorates. Edge swinging through, cleaving too. Hatter does fall, but it's not going to be enough. The Fire Strike Edge is just a different beast on this Reinhardt. I can't believe he was playing Zarya at first. This man is a main tank at heart.
I agree. I mean, it's just good target focusing and good use of the cooldowns, the shield being used correctly, you know, really just knowing when to swing and when to not. And I think that was why he was able to stay up so long during that fight with the overclock, trying to keep them back. He said, okay, I'll manage my time right. And they had the teleport and they were able to not lose the lead.
Widow gets laid down again. I feel like it's getting re-uploaded, I'd say, every other fight, which is crazy. I mean, Ravenous Vortex laid down into it, so they can't just peek it. The Blizzard laid down, Paka will get isolated and eliminated here. No, he will not. It's a clutch Suzu from Expensive, and Goopy's gonna take out Momo. Bridgie with the rail on it. It feels a little excess, but to counter out the shatter, it feels like an okay trade, and only 3 meters of push in between these teams.
Yeah, I mean, losing that shatter is very, very unfortunate. But like you said, Paka using that annihilation was pretty good. And like you said, it might have been a little much, but they just wanted to really guarantee that flip, especially with such little time left and such little space to go to claim the lead.
I mean, you say just such little space, but Edge and the rest of his team are taking the space. The rush laid down to try and have the cooldowns be refreshed faster, but Mimi grabs Goopy. It's a large source of damage missing, and Momo grabs Paka as well. Bridgie's gonna go in too, though, so it is actually even Steven on the field. Expensive with a nice little headshot onto Mimi, but there's no tank available, and Hatter with the beam and the turrets is gonna go ahead and lay waste to Wild Wolf. Bridgie is so weak, and the right clicks. Oh, Expensive can't get the healing of Fuda across the field, and he has to die. It's so heartbreaking.
It really is, especially with 30 seconds left and not a lot of ultimates. The closest ultimate being... Yeah, Wild Wolf being the closest here, and it's going to be a very interesting fight because both of these teams don't really have a lot of ultimates, so it's really who can play the comps better as we are about to head into overtime.
I mean, yeah, and the reason you heard my exclamation is we got the Bridgie Farah right now, so I wonder what is the idea for this, and Goopy grabs Mimi. That's every little bit of hit stand removed from the field. No more hit stand for the Farah. It's all about the tech now, all about the way you fly. Has to be careful. Bridgie's gonna grab Hatter. Has to be, and there they go, and they back immediately. Frostnova would know they cannot lose another member, but Bridgie is applying the pressure. If they manage to work up to a barrage, that could put an end to someone's life.
Oh, bad window there by Mimi. Yo, I do not like that window at all, as we will now see
it immediately.
I agree.
Beacon's laid down, that can be huge. The Molten Core laid down on top. They're forced on the side of Frostnova to try and take shelter, but where they take shelter is where they will fall. The Shatter Shooting gets laid down, but it is all for naught, and Frostnova failed the final hurdle. The Rockets, the team play coming in, it's all too much, and High Rollers pull that one out of the bag somehow in some way.
I mean, you can't really ask for a better push map right there. I mean, very good stuff from both teams, but in the end, you know, High Rollers were able to pull it off, so big props to them, but I think that Edge really had a wonderful map here on Coliseo.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to agree. I mean, that was a lovely game of push we just witnessed. Who is your man of the match, do you think?
Man of the match, man, I really don't know. I mean, I think if you're looking at just the overall effect of the game, I think you have to go Paka, because on the ball on Flashpoint, applying that pressure and then also being able to recognize when that ball wasn't working on Coliseo and switching over to the Ramatra and just coming in and playing fairly well. You know, I think that it was just Frostnova learned how to deal with the comp. I think that Paka would be my pick.
All right, I will go ahead and drag Pocket in, and you feel free to grill my man as much as you will.
Paka, congratulations. You are the man of the match. You can unmute. Yeah, so I think that's the first thing I want to touch on. I mean, playing ball in today's landscape with it being so heavily filled with Zaryas and Junker Queens, how are you guys able to feel confident playing that composition?
We have a motto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
please.
We ball. Yeah.
Oh, we ball?
Yeah, we
okay.
ball. Yeah.
Of course. Now, on Coliseo, however, the ball just really wasn't working out. So what was your guys' thought process changing from the ball over to the Ramatra, recognizing that you guys wouldn't be able to win on that composition?
We were going to play ball in every situation besides Coliseo. So, like...
Interesting.
We saw they were on Ryan.
Mm-hmm. So even if... they didn't go that composition, you guys decided that Coliseo just wasn't the map for ball. So that first one was just kind of a hope that you would be able to pull it off, but in the end you had to end up switching.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, really close stuff there. A wonderful push map, very back and forth, something that we love to see. But congratulations to you and your team, and we wish you the best of luck as you continue throughout the season.
We ball.
Thank you,
ball.
Thank you, Paka, very much. As that will do it for match number 2. Don't go anywhere. We are coming right back for match number 3.